Good morning, everyone. All right, let's set everything up. How's everyone doing on this nice and bloody morning? Woo! All right. First of all, happy almost all-time high day. Or all-time high week, should I say. I didn't stream last week, but pretty damn cool. I know everyone's like gonna be sad or bearish or upset or something or another, frustrated, but can we take a moment to at least appreciate that we almost tagged all-time highs last week? Where did this go? After everything that we've kind of overcome the last 8 months, I think that was pretty cool. So before we get into a whole bunch of bearish takes and, you know, the world's over and Trump sold the news and elections and Kamala's going to win, this industry's going to zero, before we get to all of that, I just want to preface this by saying, man, look, I've been bullish since the September bottom for reasons that I have echoed 3 billion times. And I'm not gonna waste you guys' time going through the whole thing again and again and again, but we've overcome a lot of bearish things this summer, and Bitcoin has held up phenomenally well. And I don't see a case at this point, I'd say less than 1% chance that this entire structure somehow at this point breaks down and we make new lows. I've been bullish since the September bottom. I've been buying all these kind of FUD events, positioning for the breakout. And it's just funny to see that an event that everyone knew about, the election, it's not a surprise. It comes every 4 years. It's on the same exact day every 4 years, is now the biggest event in crypto for some reason, right? It's not something that's unforeseen. It's not something that was unbeknownst. It's not catching anyone by surprise. It is something that is well known. It's something that has been very well known for very long. But all of a sudden now it's like the biggest thing ever. And, you know, I think it's just this too shall pass, right? I think it's one of those things. This too shall pass. But I don't think anyone is specifically bearish on Bitcoin. I know all you guys are here to talk about altcoins, and you know, we'll get to all the altcoins, and we'll get to the bags, and we'll get to the meme coins, and we'll get to the theses and Bitcoin dominance and others and everything like that. But I just wanted to start off by saying I don't think any of this should be a surprise to anyone or is coming as a surprise to anyone. I think even back in early October, I talked about how there would be some kind of late October pre-election de-risking. I absolutely did not think that we were going to make it within an inch of all-time high before that de-risking occurred. I didn't think we were going to delay it this far. I thought it would start happening somewhere in this region. But nonetheless, I mean, pretty fucking cool. I hope you guys are I hope you guys are like excited about the markets ahead, because I know I am. A lot of new names in chat. What's up, Nick? I haven't seen you in a stream in a minute, but a lot of new names in chat. I hope you guys are enjoy your time today. If you could do me a favor and hit the like button on your way in, that'd be super cool. I know it's a cringe thing to say, but it is what it is. I've gotten over the cringe factor, so if you could hit the like on your way in, that'd be pretty damn cool. Nuking the coins live. Yeah, I mean, it's been a decently bloody morning, single-sided. I think it's always funny when you see these heroes Monday morning T-wopping in on the perp and then just getting obliterated, right? The entire thing that this guy... the entire position that whatever entity this is, or maybe it's a collection of entities, but all this positioning that was put in overnight and pre-market just instantly gets wiped out, and then we could start our day, right? So one thing I was looking at this morning, it's not something I usually do, is talk about low time frames, but I thought it would be worth mentioning. One thing I was looking for as a trigger this morning is of like this consolidation on low time frame getting wiped with an open interest flush, and then kind of just holding and accepting back inside that daily value area low for rotation to daily value area high. Never got the trigger for that, but may get it on Solana. Solana's looking a lot stronger this morning. So if Bitcoin can calm down at any given moment and just chill out for 2 seconds, I think you're going to get a decent rotation on Solana here from just this daily value area low after running liquidity. I honestly thought this was going to get front run. I thought Bitcoin would be a little bit stronger, but nonetheless, that's kind of the trade that I'm looking at right now. I may take this live, but I'm not going to tell you guys if I take it. Save that stuff for Paragon. People panic selling over a slight shift in polymarket polls is insanity. Okay, so first of all, I don't pay attention to polymarket. Maybe I should, but I don't whatsoever. I don't care about it. I don't pay attention to it. Polymarket is a market. It's not a polling, right? So when you're saying there polymarket polls, it's not a poll. It's a market. It's a betting market, right? So people are wagering bets on if this person wins, if that person wins. It's basically trading a coin. Like it's a tokenized betting platform or whatever it may be, right? So people are literally making bets, and their bets move price, or their bets move odds. So I don't think a bunch of crypto degenerates, or maybe even people that are non-crypto natives, betting on crypto or betting on elections has anything to do with anything, to be honest. That's my honest take with it. As you guys can see here in the background, Solana is getting a push off that value area low, which is really nice. That relative strength between Solana and BTC is pretty sexy. Alts look cooked. I mean, here's the thing. We've talked about others a million times on stream. I've been covering this for 2 months with you guys. Man, I don't even know when we started this. Back in August. Basically, let's start with the weekly. Right, so we talked about this back in August or something like that. That 240 billion was the region to protect, right? So we had our weekly trend, and we have 240 billion. This is where the devastation of selling started last cycle. This is where we tried to hold as support on the way up. This is where everything fell apart. This is where we reclaimed earlier this year. We're trying to hold above 240 billion, right? I've been pointing out that this is the level to break on altcoins. Above 240, we probably get into a high time frame trend, and it can really mark up on some altcoins. Underneath here, right, you have a high chance of getting bonked, so just be aware of that, right? And now as we get to the lows, I don't think there's a point in saying alts look cooked. I think it's a point of, can we find opportunity here to get long again, right? With the invalidation, we don't want to see kind of alts bleeding below and accepting below, I guess, like 160 billion, right? So 160, 170 is a region to be optimistic and look to attack longs and pick up bags on altcoins. And even if it's just a rotation again from range low to range high, that's still going to be very profitable for many people. There was a 2-week run at the end of September. The last 2 weeks of September were an extremely profitable run on my perp account on so many tickers. And if you just get that, like, there's so much value to extract. So I don't think there's a point in now saying alts look cooked. I think now it's a point of saying, where can I action and what can I pick up off these lows? We hit all-time high on CME. Do you think that has any relevance? We SFP'd on CME. Here's my question to you, Mike, is what CME are people looking at? So when I look at Bitcoin CME, I look at this. So this is the Bitcoin 1 Bitcoin futures on the CME. I look at this and I get a different picture than other people. So I don't know if this one's more relevant, but this is what I used to use back in 2023 when I would look at like CME gaps that we'd leave on the weekend and basically look to fill in weekend CME gaps and stuff for positioning on trades. I'm not seeing this all-time high SFP as other people are seeing, right? So maybe they have an edge that I don't, but CME ran to 78K in March. So we definitely didn't SFP the all-time high. And this is something that this is a chart that I've used actionably dozens of times in 2023. I haven't used it in a very long time, but whenever I think of CME, I think of this chart. So I don't really know what other people are looking at. New viewer, hey Ty, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining. Sup. Are all them value area highs, value area lows automatically put there from the Paragon indicator? Yeah. I think you're talking about this. Yeah. These little lines right here. Previous day, daily value area low, previous day's value area high. Yeah, these are all there, just built into the Paragon low time frame scalp like indicator. What's value area low for Solana? So this is a bit of discretion. So I think people are gonna look at this in two ways, right? So what I like to do when I'm trading low time frame is use the 2 standard deviation, right? So this is technically daily value area low right here, this band right here, right? Which is 161.32. That's the daily value area low. But I use a bit more discretion, which is how I was taught from Magus, to kind of use the 2nd standard deviation band on the lower time frame. So that's what I use. And that's right around like 160.5. So I think Solana holding here looks pretty solid. You don't want to see this kind of just bleed out to zero. People have always requested, I think, dozens of times, like, Doc, can you talk about some low time frame stuff on the stream? And I never do, but figured I would do it once. Bork is the next meme. I don't know about that. There is no next Pepe. Goat has been sold off since it listed on Binance. Even though Truth Terminal made some cool AI photo videos, but price don't move much. What do you think? I don't think... Okay, so I think price is king. Price leads narrative. I don't think you can just be like, oh, he made something cool, price should go up. No, if something is downtrending, it doesn't matter how many bullish news comes out. I don't think that's going to reverse price, right? So like, let me just give you this example. If you're in a high time frame downtrend, let's say we're in a bear market, right? Like, this is a good example. I know it might not be exactly what you're asking, but bear with me for a second. If you're in a high time frame downtrend, right? These up moves may be met with really good news, right? Oh my God, something super bullish happened with my project. They changed tokenomics, right? And that gets people to rally and rally and rally. But ultimately, all you do is leave a lower high and you come make a lower low because the trend is down, right? So bullish news is just going to get capped. If you're in an uptrend, there could be the slightest bullish news and you could do something like that, right? Because you're in an uptrend, you're working with the trend. Against the trend, bullish things are not going to matter as much. So it doesn't matter if Truth Terminal has some like new developments. You already kind of priced that in. You took Truth Terminal from basically $0 valuation into 1 billion in 2 weeks. People are up infinite amounts of money. They're up so much money. Markets are down. People are probably scared. They're taking profits, right? Early people take profits. They top the coin. Their supply of take profits overwhelms the demand of buying this coin. They create the top. As things break down, you got price action traders being like, okay, structure is broken, let me take profit. You got trend traders saying, okay, trends are broken, let me take profit, right? You've got other people that are being like, oh my God, all my other bags are down so much. This is up so much, let me take profit, right? You've got all this stuff that's just entering supply onto the market. It doesn't really matter how many bullish things are happening during this time. Eventually, this is going to bottom out. Eventually, you're going to break structure where you trade above the high that led to the last low, right? Eventually, you're going to have a breaker like this. And then you'll have a pullback, and then you can action something, and then you can get a new trend, right? So it really doesn't matter how many bullish things are happening in a downtrend. Structure matters more, price matters more. So that's what I have to say to that. That being said, let's take a look at GOAT. Yeah, so here's the doodle that I made yesterday, I think, for a friend. Basically, very clean range formed here. I know we didn't spend a lot of time in it, but clean levels to be respected as far as range mid, range low, range high, right? Range high was trying to be held as support, big breakdown. I think if you trade back above, what is this, 55, 56, take out this high that led to the last low. So here's your last swing high, here's your last swing low. Trade above it, you've now broken structure. So this big lower high, lower low market structure bleed is now broken to the upside. At the very best, you can get price reversal like I've drawn out here. But in a standard case, at least you've broken the downtrend and you've created the opportunity for this to range and bottom and then mark up once again. So I don't like buying into bleeders unless it's something that I just have turbo undeniable conviction in and I just want to buy it as low as possible, which might be some people that just have unbelievable faith in GOAT and just want to buy as low of a market cap as possible. For me, this is not a high conviction thing like that, so I would wait for some structure to form. AM, all right, man. I'm going to need you to do this. I need you to spam Magus and Charlie on Twitter every day. All of you guys listening here, spam them daily for the discount code because I've been pushing them for 2 months and I think we're close. I'm trolling a little bit because we are close to releasing a discount code. But tell them, bro. Tell them. Because I've been trying to push them towards that for months now. Months and months and months. Like literally since summer. But I think we're close. I think we're gonna release a code very soon, so look out for that. It might be next week, it might be the week after. I'm not really sure, but it's coming out soon. But troll them anyways. When I joined Paragon Group, everything is explained from A to Z. Yeah, absolutely. Like my educational section starts off from price action basics, trends basics, a lot of basic stuffs, and then goes on to a little bit more discretionary things. And then once you've built a base, you know, feel free to ask me any and every question that you have, and I'll answer it either on our weekly streams or just in our chat. Same with Magus and same with Charlie. Magus and Charlie, you know, built Paragon, right? So they've been pushing out content for a lot longer than I have. They have a lot of content, so yeah, they have A through Z stuff. Still spam? Yes, absolutely spam them. Annoy them, bro. And maybe soon we'll be open Discord to Clinic. Nah, Clinic is closed forever, bros. Clinic's just gonna be the homie Discord. If I ever make a public Discord again, it'll be called something else with something different. But the Clinic is closed. Okay, let's talk about some coins. Let's talk about Bitcoin, and then let's go from there. So let's get rid of some of these doodles from earlier. All right, so the event that this reminds me of the most is the ETF. going live. In the time that I've traded, this election, kind of the flows behind it, the sentiment behind it, everything is just reminding me the most as far as a lateral kind of analysis is the ETF going live. So January of this year, we had the ETF being approved, and it turned out to be a little bit of a sell the news event, short term, couple weeks until we started grinding back up. I think this is playing out most similarly to that so far as we've known about this for months. The election is nothing new. People have been bullish on Trump for, since August, right? We've known about this for months and months and months. The time is getting closer and closer, and the noises and the talk about Trump winning is going to be bullish for our bags is getting louder and louder and louder. And smart money, people who are reading, who are actioning early, are buying here, and they're buying on the way up, and they're de-risking and taking profits at the highs, right? Dumb money, slow money, people that, may not be as ahead of the curve are buying up here and being like, we're going to break out, right? This is their first kind of purchase of being like, oh, if Trump wins, we're going to Valhalla, right? And they get dumped on. That is also similar to how the ETF kind of played out. We had this big uptrend. Everyone knew about the ETF odds. Everyone knew that it was going to be whatever. People looked at this as, oh, if it goes live, then we'll have flows. Basically, the minute it goes live, people are going to be buying tons. I can buy this approval. They're going to come pump my bags. I'll make tons of money. They got dumped on for a couple days, right? People who were in this trade for a long time took profits. We also had the flow dynamics of GBTC, which not a lot of people were smart enough to know about. We also had to sell the news. People who bought the top got dumped on, and then we went on our merry way. I think there's a possibility of something like that playing out, even in the event of a Trump win. So not that many people are talking about a Trump news, like Trump wins, sell the news type of event, but I think that's within the realm of possibility that whether, we make a lower high or even make an all-time high push, I think there's the possibility of a Trump win, sell the news short term, and then we run it up once again. I think this is a strong realm of possibility, which not a lot of people are talking about. In the event of a Kamala win, obviously you're probably not going to get a massive pump. You'll probably just get the dump, right? You'll probably just get everyone that positioned either late or early. So the way that I see it is that people who positioned for Trump's win, if they bought here, they're probably taking profits. If not, they're probably already taken profits. They're probably already closed in profits. Now it's everyone else's like late gamblers, taking positions on Trump, right? So if you're right now, hypothetically speaking, and you're like, I think Trump's going to win. This is such a good entry point. We're on daily trend. We're on daily demand. And they get this move up here, they'll probably take profits, right? People who will buy the breakout will get canned. You might get a sell the news event, something like this. In the other way, if Kamala wins, you probably, like, these people who are positioning here, they're just gonna puke, right? So either way, I think there's gonna be some short term, possibly downside. And this is me trying to be a predictor, right? There's nothing actionable in predicting. All it is me mapping out plans of this could happen, so that my brain is not surprised if it does happen. And I have plans for if something I planned for starts playing out, I know how to action things through A, through B, through C. So again, when I say things like this, it's not to say that, hey, Doc is predicting that X is going to occur. It's more so I'm making a plan that this can occur so that if things start playing out that way, I'm not surprised and I have plans for that event, right? So if we're talking strictly structure, we're literally at daily demand, daily trend, and flipping prior highs. Structurally, I cannot make a bearish argument here. It's just simply that easy, right? You're literally buying demand. Your invalidation is losing demand and losing trends from this high time frame perspective, and you're looking for a higher high, right? If there's no election going on, it's as simple as that. But since there's election going on and we're all kind of LARPing and making our predictions of this could happen and that could happen and yada, yada, yada. So I'm giving you my kind of take as well, as I haven't seen too many people mention a kind of sell the news type of event. And I think that's within the realm of possibility. A few minutes behind, but the CME not accounting for BADJ is the chart that ran the high. Okay, so let me go back. Gotcha. Gotcha. It's always confusing here whenever I get this like adjustment for rollover contracts and stuff like that. I always forget to toggle on, toggle off. Good call, Nick. Thank you. Yeah, I see it. Okay, cool. Yeah, there you go, guys. It's completely over. We SFP'd all-time highs. The CME has spoken. It's turbo fucking over. We're going to go back to zero. But no, I have no thoughts on this. I've given you guys kind of my thoughts on the approach of, you know, this is what the structure is saying. This is what could happen in the event of a Trump win. This could happen in the event of a Kamala win. Either way, I'm bullish for the reasons that I've been mentioning for 3 to 4 months now or something like that. Reading between the lines of all the bearish things we've soaked, this could be an event where we're soaking bullish news, right? At range lows, you're getting negative news, Iran and Germany selling and macro events and equities corrections and Israel-Iran part 2. So you're absorbing negative things at the lows. Basically, bearish things that should break us down are not breaking us down. Henceforth, that is a bottom, right? If something that is super bearish cannot bring price lower, that's a form of news absorption, and price will eventually like rubber band in the opposite direction. This could be the inverse of that, where you get a Trump win, price is not able to break out, right? This is a bullish news, bullish for our bags, bullish, you know, regulation, clarity, DeFi, altcoins. Trump is bullish for everything, and price is not breaking out. That in turn is bearish, right? Absorbing bearish news is bullish, absorbing bullish news is bearish, right? So that's one of the things that you can kind of think about in the event that that happens. I don't know if, you know, I don't know if I'm going to put extra weight on the CME sweep that, like, this is not going to tilt the scales in one direction or the other because I have enough information basically using everything else I've already mentioned, right? So this is not going to tip the scales one way or another for me. Discounts in this economy? That's hilarious. Can you do grass, please? Yeah, of course. Give me a few minutes, though. TLDR, vote Trump for higher. I think, so I've been saying this for a long time, guys, and I know that everyone on CT is now kind of making a mockery of this, of like, oh, people are saying Trump up, Kamala down, it's not so binary. I've been saying this for weeks now. I've been saying, like, I don't think it matters. Right? The only thing that's going to matter is the time it takes to get to point A, right? Like, if this is where we're out right now and this is 100K, right? You know, Trump winning could get us there faster. Kamala winning could get us there slower. Kobe tweeted that out this morning. I think Mercury's been saying that. A lot of people have been saying that, but, you know, if I'm going to toot my own horn, I've been saying this for months. I've been saying this for a long time. So, you know, I'm glad other people are seeing it that way as well. I don't think the presidency matters for the ultimate result of crypto, right? I remember trading the stock market. Let's pull up ES. I was trading stocks at the last election. The narrative was, if Biden wins and Trump loses the presidency, it's over, the market's going to zero, everything's going to crash. This thing just ripped, right? I know there's a different kind of dynamic as far as money printing and stuff goes, but nonetheless, the narrative was at the time very, very, very loud narrative that if Biden wins, the economy is going to zero. If Biden wins, the stock market's going to zero. And the stock market did not go to zero, but that was the narrative. And once again, for some whatever reason, people think Kamala winning is going to nuke crypto to zero, but guys, remember, we've been under a Democratic presidency for the last 4 years, and crypto's been fine, right? Crypto's been going up during a Biden presidency. Like, it really doesn't matter. It's just short-term narratives. Thoughts on Kobe equals GCR? Yeah, I mean, Sam, my friend Sam, has been saying this to me for like a year or something. He brought it up. He gave me like a whole bunch of insight of why he believes that Kobe is GCR. And apparently this morning, Kobe and GCR tweeted the same thing at the same time. Now you got some people going, oh, Kobe's just trolling and copy pasta GCR's thing and then deleted it to Psyop people because he knows people. I don't know, man. I really don't know. All I want to say is I would prefer the world where GCR and Kobe are two different people, and I would less prefer the world where they were the same person. Not that that means anything or matters in the slightest. I just think it's cooler if there's two or multiple Giga Chads in our industry versus just, hey, there's one guy that's making billions of dollars where everyone else is, you know, making 8 figures or something like that. I think like GCR is probably the only crypto billionaire that we know about. And I think there's speculation that Kobe's a crypto billionaire. So it's cooler if there's 2 of them versus just one of them. That is honestly my only thoughts. Yeah, there you go. Magus is in chat. Spam him. Everyone tag Magus right now. Everyone tag him right now and tell him, say when discount. Blow up his mentions. DM him. Guys, remember the Trump speech pump at the Bitcoin conference? Yeah, it's kind of the similar thing, right? The bullish news often creates highs. Bearish news often creates lows. Think monetary policy is more influential to price than the election? Yeah, I mean, election is short-term noise for markets. Historically, markets just trend up anyways. Like, I think honestly, here's one stat that is shocking to a lot of people is stock market has gone up more over the last 100 years under a Democratic presidency than a Republican presidency, even though the narrative is that Democrats are bad for stock market. So that's interesting. Kobe logged into the wrong account. Happens to me a lot. Yeah, that's very possible. There you go. Where does this speculation about Kobe 1 billion come from? What evidence? I don't know if there's evidence. I just think there's people in the industry that have been around for a long time that say that, and maybe I'm naive, but I just believe them. I just go, hey, this guy has been around for a long time, says Kobe's a billionaire. Yeah, he's probably a billionaire. End of story. I don't really need evidence. Sometimes I just like believing things. It doesn't impact my life one way or another, whether I believe that he's a billionaire or I go, he's not a billionaire, right? Like, who cares? I'd rather just believe in the happier story versus being super cynical on people. Okay, let's move on to some altcoins. So let me take a quick look at this. Let's see. Okay, so not bad. Honestly, not the best reaction so far, but not bad. Sol BTC is a little bit stronger this morning, I think, just on low time frames. Yeah. So decent take there, taking the Sol trade. Anyways. What shall we cover first? Let's just do Solana. All right. So there's not honestly too much to say about Solana. In my opinion, right, this black box that I highlighted is the last point of breakdown. So this is where bullish daily market structure broke, right? We'd been in bullish daily market structure since the pretty much yearly open, right? This entire rally all the way up to 200 was higher highs and higher lows on the daily. This last move right here was the last like up candle on the 4-hour. I know I'm showing you the daily, but just take my word for it so I don't have to click extra buttons. But the last up move on the 4-hour before this whole thing fell apart, right? So I'm looking at this as the point of breakdown. More or less, that's capped upside for some time now, right? In the middle of your screen now is the kind of the pivot level. I don't know what else to call it. It's not a perfect mid-range, but it's pretty much the pivot level, right? We've struggled to hold above this as bulls. Bears have struggled to keep price below this, right? We've just kind of been yin-yanging through the 160 level forever. In order for this to create a sustainable trend upwards, all we really need to do, all bulls really need to do is, at this point, we really don't need to go back to 120 or 130. We really don't need to go all the way back here. We've tested this level a bunch of times. I think bulls need to show up and create a macro higher low for the first time. A little bit of a dip under this region, maybe 140, maybe 150, something like this, and hold in this general area confluent with, I believe, the weekly trend, right? This structure, right, from August would start to look very like coily, very bullish, and we're just kind of crabbing and crawling upwards, right? Versus these big spike ups where we cannot sustain price action. This is a much healthier trend where you're just building steam, building momentum, building steam, building momentum, continuing to find buyers at higher prices, continuing to show demand. This is what leads ultimately to parabolic moves. Sorry, I ran out of desk space there. But this is what ultimately leads to extremely parabolic moves. So I think the only thing that we need on Solana right now is just macro higher lows. I'm less and less concerned with this 160 level. It's a nice like price action level to trade through. I know some people are going to be like, well, look, we were in this range at 160. We deviated once again. We're going to come all the way back down to these lows. And I think that's a viable take if you're really convinced that the market's going to stay range bound for a lot longer. I'm not of the opinion that the market's going to stay range bound for a lot longer. I think we're gearing up towards the breakout, and this is kind of like the shakeout before the breakout. The Trump can maybe sell the news, all-time high, capture local top-ish kind of price action, which leads into higher highs after we flush some positioning. So I don't think Solana is going to trade that low. It's shown so much resilience this year. I think the one time you guys remember me being kind of bearish on Solana opening up September, I thought if there was ever a time for Solana to break down, it was early September. That was the region where Solana could have made lower lows into the hundreds and 80s and stuff like that. It didn't do that. It showed unbelievable strength against Bitcoin, against Ethereum. Buyers are coming here. So I believe that once again, probably Solana will be more bullish than people expect in the event that it breaks down. I don't think, and this is kind of just speculation on my part, I don't think the market's going to let people fill Solana at 120 again. I do think this will probably end up being a macro higher low and will continue this bullish price action structure, and the next time we make it to 180, 190, that'll probably lead to the breakout. So those are thoughts on Solana there. I'm not going to cover anything lower than that because we kind of did the intraday scalp kind of talk, and then I'm just talking super high time frame. So anything in between there I don't think is really too much valuable to talk about because this week is probably just going to be super volatile in both directions, right? So there's not anything going to be actionable on the 4 hour and stuff like that. I think it's just, if you're trying to trade this week, one thing I'll say is just aim for liquidity on both sides, right? If you see rogue wicks, try to play extremities and not try to action kind of like in the middle of price, right? Try to really catch extremities if you're going to trade, and not just be like, oh, price hasn't moved in 3 hours or 6 hours or something like that, and we're just kind of crabbing around. Right, I don't think these entries are going to be very good. You're probably going to get whipsawed in both directions. So price extremities if you're going to trade this week. Anyways, that's Solana. Moving on to some other bags. You guys know that I've been bullish on APU. I really trimmed down this position over the past few weeks. I was selling on the way up, and this looked trash to me last week, right? This looked like it's basically broken structure, right? This is the low that led to the high on APU, right? Trading below this and getting bonked, right? Dropping back into the prior range, getting bonked at that range high was really a place that, you want to lock in these gains if you're like me and you rode this up for like a 6x, right? You rode this up for good money. The structure's starting to look bad. It's putting in this kind of lower high. It didn't look good to me. Confluent with the range high, I think it's more evident on this other chart, right? There's much more clear for you guys, right? Just looking so ugly. I'm not going to do anything with APU until more price action plays out. So I just, I'm going to give it a couple months, right? I might buy it back higher. I might buy it back lower, but this is just mid-range kind of no man's land underneath the daily trend. Didn't even really establish the daily trend on the way up, just went so parabolic. So nothing really to talk about on APU. Moving on to PEPE. I think I mentioned this. Yeah, I tweeted this out yesterday. I don't know what I'm saying. I think I tweeted this out yesterday. And I just wanted to clarify, this is not really like, one, it's not actionable, and two, it's not drawn to timescale other than this last part. The only thing that I'm like hyper confident in is Pepe is going to continue PvPing you guys until next year. I've kind of been a broken record on this as well, right? When I come on these streams, I come on and I share my like highest conviction ideas, and then I just echo them. I'm not really like flip-flopping every single week. I just kind of stick with the same routine and the same plan, and have my invalidations, and then just keep repeating the same thing so that I execute well on my high time frame, on my high conviction trades, right? And everything else I just consider noise. So with this doodle, right, all I'm really displaying, ignore everything that's written on your chart, right? The thing that I'm really trying to display here is that I've been saying that Pepe is going to be PvP. I've been saying that Pepe is going to range and chop people up before it's ready to move. And that's what's happening, right? I think a lot of people, the narrative now, I guarantee you guys what's going to happen over the next few months is that people are going to say, this altcoin is moving well, and this altcoin is moving well, and this meme coin is moving well. Why is Pepe not moving? It's done. It's too expensive. It had its time in the sunshine. It's over. Let's buy this altcoin and this altcoin and this altcoin. And when the market is sufficiently like, when it's shaken enough people out, right? When people who bought perp longs and just been holding this for 3 months close their positions, and people stop trying to break out long Pepe, and they stop believing in this, and they move their money from spot Pepe to spot something else, that's when this is going to rip, right? I've seen this kind of play out with Pepe multiple times now. I kind of know what to expect, and I'm expecting the same thing. So this is really like, if you're going to action Pepe, you just need to be spot and chill, right? Otherwise, like, this is going to be extremely PvP for you, right? And the highest conviction is this is not going to move until 2025. I've been saying this for a long time now, right? Even back in like June of last year, I have a tweet that says Pepe is going to flip SHIB in 2025. So we're sticking with that. Let's catch up with chat, and then we'll go back to altcoins. I got to do FWOG and grass. Nomad probably billionaire as well. Yeah, I'm sure there's more. I mean, Huss, right? He's like a he's like a what, a Middle Eastern prince? I don't know where he's from. Dubai. Huss is hella rich too. There's probably a couple. Grass and Tau, yeah, I'll get to them. Doc, since more inflows went through on-chain, what do you think of old meme coins that have been down 80-90% from all-time high and remained low for several? So, since more inflows went through on-chain, what do you... Okay. So you're saying since on-chain is having more success than centralized exchange. I think that's what you're saying. What do you think of bidding old meme coins that have been down 89% from all-time high and remained low for several months? So my take on anything that has this schematic where you mark up, you go parabolic, maybe you do something like this, you break down, right? And then eventually this downtrend ends, you get a relief rally, this gets bonked towards like some liquidity level, and then you just start ranging, right? Anything that's doing this, if you're bullish on it and you have high conviction on it, you just buy range lows, right? You don't even have to catch it the first time, maybe the second time, maybe the third time. You just buy range lows, your invalidation is range loss, and then you pretty much pray for the best, right? You take market cap scenarios, okay, gets to 300 million or 500 million or 1 billion, I'll take profits. Or if it flips this coin, I'll take profits. Or if it loses a trend, right? If it's holding daily trends or something like that and it loses daily trends, I'll take profits, right? It's very, very simple with coins that look like this. So, yeah, I mean, meme coin or not, right? That's what you're describing, I think is very easy to action. I want to buy, but too scared of the elections. Brother, there's always going to be a reason to be scared, right? I'm not telling you to buy now, but I'm saying that buying FUD for the last... Buying FUD since I entered crypto has been the most profitable strategy that I've had, right? I mark out levels, right? I say, look, if price ever comes to this demand, or if price ever comes to this range low, or if price ever runs this liquidity, I want to long, right? And sure enough, when price gets there, there's some FUD. That FUD is USDC depegging, or Solana getting delisted from exchanges, or Israel attacking Iran, or whatever it may be, right? There's always some FUD that occurs when you get to the levels that you have marked out, and you just have to action it, right? I don't think you should buy, green candles before big uncertain events, but buy red candles when they're uncertain events, right? If there's an uncertain event and it's coming into your, region where you've been eyeing to buy, stop listening to the Zoran Coles of the world telling you Bitcoin's going to 44K after you said, I'm going to buy 53K, I'm going to buy 53K, 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 and then the price comes to 53K and there's some uncertainty event and you've got some loud person telling you it's going to 40 and you go, I'm just not going to buy that. Right? Stick to your plans, especially when there's FUD involved. You see a level getting attacked when there's like bearish news, something you should probably look to buy. Easy invalidations as well. Just one more shakeout, matey. We have not had enough shakeouts over the last 6 months. Yeah, the shakeouts will continue. The shakeouts will continue. That dude. It's a joke, but at the same time, like, you have to kind of earn it in crypto, man. You kind of have to earn it, right? Like, everyone thinks that it's so easy just to buy these coins and then they do 10x's, man. I'll tell you, like, when I was bullish on PEPE, there was constantly some really bearish thing happening, right? Number one, like the dev wallet got hacked or whatever, and then they started like dumping at these lows and it broke range lows, right? There's more price history. Right, so, this is a level that was holding a support, and the dev wallet gets hacked, and we started bleeding, right? That's pretty scary, right? And then the next thing is like, the coin got forked or something like that, and someone's fudding it and saying, oh, liquidity is gonna get drained. We created some mechanic behind it, right? That was not a fun event. And then, what else? Like, Whiff is popping off, and Pepe's not popping off, and oh my god, Bonk is the new meme coin, and Bonk flipped Pepe, and Pepe's not gonna do this, and then it pops off, right? So the market is designed in such a way that you just consistently have to shake people out before things go parabolic, and the mentality becomes, I'm buying a breakout, 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 and then, the rally starts and you go, I'm not falling for that again. So even if you're bullish on this industry, right, you just can't mentally withstand buying range lows. You keep falling for the breakouts. And then when the breakout happens, you go, I'm not falling for that shit again. And you end up sidelining yourself. This happens to too many people. This happens to the bulk of people. And it just goes to prove that, like, you have to have a game plan and you have to earn it. And might sound cringe, but it's part of it. Thoughts on Jupe. If I forget Jupe, remind me. I will look at it. But I mean, simple thoughts. It's just buy range low. It's in the accumulation range. I think I've mentioned Jupiter tons of times. Thoughts on POPCAT and PEPE. Do you think it's over for memes and alts and time for Bitcoin to keep climbing higher and alts continue bleeding? I already talked about this, Wavy. So I talked about others. You want to be a buyer at range lows, right? And we've talked about Bitcoin dominance on the stream 1,000 times. I've been telling you guys, like, this is probably gonna pop off and create a god candle here, and it did. And it's shocked Pikachu face of, oh my god, it actually happened. Like, it's all on the chart. But to answer your question plainly, I don't think it's over. I just think you look at things like, look, man, Pepe's coming. Oh, that's the wrong chart. Pepe's coming in range low. Right? You don't need to be like, oh, now it's going to get bodied. Now Bitcoin's going to break out. Now Bitcoin dominance going to do whatever. Just action range lows, man. Keep it simple, right? Stuff like that, right? POPCAT, I think POPCAT like lost trend recently. It's probably going to gap fill to the next trend, right? Keep it simple. Don't worry about, the time to try to predict these things is not now, right? When it already happened, right? When I say for weeks, be cautious, Bitcoin dominance is going to break out. Or when I say, hey, you know, others is at 240 billion. I've tweeted this out 5 times. I don't know how many times I've tweeted this out and talked about on streams. And I've been like, when we break out over 240, alts are going to go crazy. Otherwise, it's just going to be in a range, right? So now that you've sold off, you don't want to be the guy that goes, oh, now I'm not going to buy alts. It's like, no, now you buy alts. Caution, optimism, caution, optimism, right? Like, that's how you reframe your brain, not now that we've sold off, oh, now Bitcoin's going to go crazy. Oh, now altcoins are going to go to zero. It's like, no, altcoins already went to zero. But yeah, wait, I wanted to look at POPCAT. Let me delete all this crap first. Wrong chart. What's got the most price history? Okay, I guess it's this. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you do anything on POPCAT. Like, here's the thing. Is POPCAT done? I'd say yes. The trend that it had from the September lows to the highs is clearly lost, right? You've held the daily trend a number of times. You've now broken structure. This is the low that led to the high. You're trading under it. You've lost the trend. It's going to end up being in a range-bound scenario for a little bit, right? So here's demand. Let me clean some stuff up. This is so dirty. I haven't looked at POPCAT in so long. I have all these old things on here. Let's draw a fresh range. So we do this. Go down the 4 hour. Okay. So here's your range low, right around 113, right? If you want to be a buyer here, I'm pretty sure you're going to get a bounce, but it's probably not going to go to all-time highs, right? It's broken structure. It's going to take some time to build new structure. So you'll probably get a bounce. So I don't want to say POPCAT's over right here. You probably get a bounce, right? Whether that comes lower or not, I couldn't tell you 2 moves in advance. But nonetheless, if you get POPCAT in this region, you probably want to be a buyer and be optimistic on the coin that has been performing like a monster all year. And you probably want to continue to be optimistic on that coin and not pessimistic. That's pretty much it, right? Action range lows, look for a bounce. Probably does not get you to all-time highs or anything like that. Probably ends up a higher low. Whether or not you end up holding this region or you bleed lower, I couldn't tell you 2 moves in advance. But nonetheless, this is a region that you probably want to look to action. Let's see if the weekly trend is up here. Yeah. So if you do get the weekly trend, right? If you get the perfect fill all the way to the weekly trend, I think you want to be a buyer here. I think this will provide a really nice bounce. If you expect Pepe to go down further, wouldn't FROG go down even further, considering it's a soul coin and not a major meme coin like Pepe? No, I mean, everything kind of does its own thing, right? Look at FWOG, right? Why would I try to correlate Pepe to FWOG in this scenario? Why would I try to correlate POPCAT to Pepe? They're all their own coins with their own things going on and their own dynamics. Like, people love to basket things together. If this altcoin is this, so that means the other altcoin is that. Yeah, there's going to be, like, along the curve of coins, there's going to be a ton of coins that just don't matter. Like Harmony 1 and AVAX and, you know, maybe a bunch of other coins that just don't matter. They're just not in the narrative. And they're just going to continue trading together, right? They're going to do the exact same price action as one another. Then there are other coins that people care about. They're going to have different dynamics and more participants. So trying to trade FWOG based on Pepe doesn't make sense to me, right? If you're trying to trade, like, if you're like, I'm bearish on Bitcoin, right? And Bitcoin is going to probably sell off, right? Let me short Harmony, or let me short some shitcoin, right? That'll just trade as beta to Bitcoin. Will probably sell off more. That makes sense. but I don't think it makes sense to equate like FWOG and PEPE. I understand the kind of idea that they're both meme coins and one is a lower cap meme coin, and if one is going down, the other may go down. I understand the thought process, but at the same time, PEPE topped September 28th, right? Where's FWOG? September 28th on FWOG is right here. So literally since PEPE topped, this is the Pico bottom on FWOG, and that was the Pico top on PEPE. If I thought, hey, PEPE's topped, let me sell FWOG, I missed out on this, right? So all right, let's skip some stuff. I need to get to some more alts, and then we'll go back to questions. 69 cheap PEPE. Yeah, I think that's in the realm of possibility. Have you talked about ETH yet? No, I haven't. I don't know if I will. Does anyone care about ETH? Okay. Moving on. So we are on FWOG. I guess I can talk about FWOG, and then we'll go to grass. I don't think there's much to mention on FWOG. Ignore this oodle. This is just brainstorming. Nothing actionable here. But I think, I mean, it's as simple as continuing to attack the daily trend. Like anytime, look at the reactions that we're getting off of this, because the thing with FWOG is I think people are catching on to the vibes of like, here's the thing. I've owned this coin now for a month, right? I've owned this coin since like the start of October, right? It's the start of November, so about a month, right? And it's marked up pretty good amount of time. In that time, I've seen more new FWOG memes than recycled ones. The guy, Grew What, who's putting out the art, is going at such an insane pace that there's new art on this meme every day. And I think the vibes have started to kind of like catch fire on CT, and people are kind of being like, okay, this one is different. This is different. This is different than the pack. This is different than everything else. It's not the same repeated tagline and catch line. It is just a kind of vibe kind of thing, right? And he's working hard for it, and it's working. I think it's convincing a lot of people to like join in on this one. So it's just repricing right now. Eventually it's going to meet a lot of supply. Eventually people that, you know, action down here at, what is this, 48 or whatever, you know, they'll be up 10x in like 2 months, right? People that bought even lower will be up like 50x and 100x, right? And then we'll meet supply, and coins will have to change hands, and they'll take profits, and this will have a correction, and it'll probably range around. But if you're like, I need a position in this now, the easiest thing to do is buy the daily trend. And you know, if you don't want to action this, and this just, maybe it does something like this and it breaks down, just keep this in mind for the next time it corrects, because I think this one's a winner. I think, you know, I haven't had high conviction in a lot of memes so far this cycle. PEPE, Apu, Wojak for a time being, and now FWOG, because I think this shit's dope. But there's not much to say. It's like, it's so simple, right? It's just trending. It's in an uptrend. It's in a daily uptrend. Buy the higher lows, defend the trend until the trend breaks. Grass. Okay, so I basically bought the listing candle on grass like a minute after it went live. And funny story about this is I tried market ordering because, okay, so I was talking to a bunch of my friends, and they were like, Doc, if grass launches sub 1 billion FDV, it's a steal. Like, they're just convinced, right? Anything under 1 billion FDV is a steal. So I took that and I saw it, and I'll go, oh shit, it's launching sub 1 billion FDV. Like, I need to get this. Like, it may just mark up. So I put in the amount that I wanted to buy, and I slammed market order. And Bybit stopped me. They're like, market orders are not available for this asset for at least 5 minutes. So I spent the first few minutes trying to fill. I got filled at like 60s average, 65 or something like that. So this is kind of a banger. But I think for now, just defend the 4-hour trend, which is pretty much what I did. You guys saw that I like hedged some of the euphoria because this 3x'd in like 3 days. I took some profits, compounded at the 4-hour trend. If the 4-hour trend is lost, this is probably going to chop around a lot longer, and the kind of price appreciation markup discrepancy of like, hey, it launched sub 1 billion FDV, that shit's probably over, and it'll need to range for some time. But as long as it's holding the 4-hour trend, I'm probably going to hold the majority of my bag for much, much, much higher. Jupe and JTO, very similar coins, very easy to kind of trade. They are just ranging. They're literally just ranging, right? And I think the best way to play these is just buy towards range lows, right? You've gotten multiple opportunities to buy these range lows. If this comes a little bit lower and comes to this, like the lower half of range low, I think you just want to be a buyer, right? I think it's a very reasonable idea to have Jupiter or JTO as your kind of centralized exchange Solana beta plays. But here's my thesis on why I'm not actioning these. I have actually like a sub account long running on this one that I don't even think about. But I don't think levered, right? Look, okay, let me say this again. I don't think Jupiter and JTO are going to outperform Solana that much, right? I think, so here's the thing. Like, here's your Solana, here's the Jupiter and JTOs, and then here's your Solana meme coins, right? Jupiter and JTO just sit in this awkward kind of middle range where you're taking some additional risk for not that much additional reward, where it makes more sense to either go into safer, right, or more risky. And I just drew an ass. But I think it makes more sense to either go safer for not that much worse returns, or much more risky for much more returns, right? Much higher reward, much more risk, or much less risk. Yeah, probably the same reward, right? I don't think Jupiter's going to do like a 10x or a 20x or a 30x. So, yeah, it may be Solana beta, but I don't know how much it's going to actually outperform Solana. Like a 2x long on Solana is probably going to perform the same as Jupiter or JTO. Did you flip frogs? Kinda, a little bit. A little bit. I was very bullish on Apu for a very long time, and let me give you guys a little bit of insight. So let's do this. What is this? I don't know what this is. Okay, let's go to the line chart and get rid of these. And then we want to add Apu. Wait, do I want this on percentage? No. Price. Okay. And then move this down. Okay. So take a look at what Apu was doing, right? It's basically just PEPE beta. Right, it's trading 1-to-1 with PEPE. And my thesis on Apu was that when PEPE goes bonkers, Apu is just going to absolutely outperform PEPE for a little bit, right? It'll be like the I missed PEPE trade. I missed PEPE, and this is the centralized exchange. Like, it has perps on Bybit. I can easily get access to Apu. Let's long Apu. Let's go to price discovery, yada yada. This dissociation was the first time that PEPE and Apu had different price action, right? So they're basically just mirroring one another, right? You guys can basically see Apu is just attached to the hip at PEPE. What happened here? We got the Murad thesis, right? We got the Murad, whatever, he's bull posting Apu. That changed everything for this coin, right? This coin was just destined to be PEPE beta until Murad put it on the list and started bull posting Apu, and then this thing dissociated from PEPE drastically. So what I was looking for on Apu was this, right? I've been looking for this. I've been looking for the outperformance over PEPE, and I got it. I got a drastic outperformance on PEPE, and I would be a fool not to action this and take profits on this. So now I'll probably be bullish on this coin again if it just goes sideways for some time, right? It goes sideways, I could probably reaction it, but I need to capitalize on this complete outperformance that I got, because originally I was just like, I'm just going to hold this bag for 6 months until PEPE does that, and then this thing will do something, and I'll sell both at the same time, and this one will probably outperform. So it's kind of like a levered bet on PEPE. It'll do more than PEPE, but it's more risky. And this kind of dissociation appeared for the first time ever, and I wanted to capitalize on some of that. So yeah, I think the next one, right, is now FWOG. And I don't think FWOG has any connection to PEPE. It's just a completely different thing. It's yes, it is a frog, and PEPE is a frog, and I can't believe I'm doing this meme coin analysis for a living. I fucking hate hearing myself say this stuff. But it's just a cool meme, and I'm going to stop there before I fucking blow my brains out. I chuckle every time you pronounce it FWOG instead of frog. I mean, it is FWOG. That's what the ticker is. Am I supposed to say frog? Okay. I thought smoking chicken fish was going to be the winner. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get around an ugly fish with a cigarette in its mouth, and it's just weird, man. Like, these raunchy things, I mean, they're good. They're good for shock value. They're good for, like, hey, people will mid-curve this. It's going to be very hard for them to buy it. They're going to fade it. And eventually, if the number goes high enough, they'll just, FOMO in and push it even higher, which is a really good thesis on, like, game theory of markets. But it's very easy. It's a lot easier to pump a coin if it has an actual, like, friendly thesis behind it, like PEPE being the meme coin of the internet, like basically the mascot of the internet, with being just a cute dog with a hat, and crypto loves dogs, and this cute dog with a hat, you could put a hat on everything, and FWOG just being feel good art. So anyways, what do you use different sub accounts for? So it's out of sight, out of mind. If I want to take a trade and I'm like, look, I want to put some stables at this, and I just want to look at it. I don't want it in my main account. I don't want to look at this like volatility, like some days I'm up this much money, some days I'm down this much money, some days I'm up this much money, and I just basically, I'm taking it as a spot position. The reason people trade spot better than perps is they don't see their P&L every day, right? They don't see it fluctuating in the account every day. They kind of just ignore it, right? But they buy their spot. They hold on to it. They hold on to it through the volatility. They wait it out, and it goes parabolic. So when you have perp positions, a lot of people will just, on a bad day, right? Things will go down. They'll be feeling bad, and they'll just, the button's right there. Just hit close, right? And you close it, at a local bottom, and then it just, V-shape reverses. Putting something in a sub account is just out of sight, out of mind. Don't think about it. Come back to it in a few months. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero. That was the risk I was willing to take when I opened the position. So. Yeah, man. From being a doctor, from residency to charting frog memes, tough life. You should change your name to something with a frog in it. No thanks, man. I've had enough brain rot for one lifetime. Render possible comeback. No, I think render looks just horrendous, man. I think render looks terrible. Like, there's no trend to this. The reason I'm saying it's looking terrible at support is just because I'm comparing it to Tau, right? So, like, here's the meme bid, right? It's Tau, it's render, it's FET, maybe name a couple other ones, right? What did render do? It really didn't break out. It just kind of ranged, right? So if we look at like the weekly trend, it bonked its head on the weekly trend, right? It wasn't even able to get above this, kind of just bonked and stayed in accumulation range. Let's move on down the line, one further to FET. What did FET do? It had a sustainable bid for a long time, multiple waves of higher highs and higher lows. It tried to hold above the weekly trend. Ultimately, it's failing, but nonetheless, traded much more bullishly in a bullish market environment, September and October, traded much higher, got much better returns than render, had a much more sustainable trend, had much more people involved in bidding this coin versus render. Now you look at Tau, right? And you just go look at this one and you say, well, that had the most, right? So if you're just bidding AI coins for the sake of bidding AI coins, you probably want to bid Tau and then FET and then render, right? So it is at support. And if you do want to buy render, you are buying support, but I'm just kind of like saying, well, did the market want to buy it? If the market doesn't want to buy it, why do I want to buy it? I'm not smarter than the market. I'm not smarter than whoever's actioning this, right? I'd rather be late and buy it in an uptrend versus, you know, trying to buy it here, which I actually did. Like, I bought this breakout on render. I bought this on spot. I capitalized on 2 legs on this on perps, ended up round tripping the spot, ended up cutting the spot. But, I mean, the perp trade was nice. This was my muscle memory of render was the GOAT, right? Render was the GOAT from early 2023 all the way into this bull market, right? Render was unreal strong in Q1 2023. Let's put this on log so you guys can appreciate how monster this rally was. This thing was incredible strength last year in Q1, right? Incredible strength last year, like so much. So my muscle memory goes, if I'm going to bid an AI coin, I'm going to bid render because I've had so much success trading render over the past year and a half. And the dynamics have shifted a little bit. You know, FET was a little bit stronger, Tau was a little bit stronger. So that's something I'm going to keep in mind for the next time that I want to bid AI coins is probably don't bid render, probably bid Tau. Doctor, I'm down bad on my bags. Hopefully you have good bags, man, because if you're down bad on good bags, it's okay. If you're down bad on bad bags, that's a rough place to be in, sir. That is a rough place to be in. Okay, let me think if there's anything else I want to say. Finally got a moment. Any coins I want to talk about. One thing is PEPE ETH. I talked about this on the timeline a little bit. I don't want to mention it on stream, but if you're stuck in ETH and you have a bunch of ETH and you're just kind of underperforming and you believe that ETH is going to bounce because eventually it'll bounce, eventually it'll go up. I don't think this market cycle will top without new ETH all-time highs, no matter how bad the sentiment is on it. I think ETH will go up, but if you want to outperform ETH in a very simple lateral fashion, I think it's not a bad idea to move your ETH into PEPE at this range low if you're given this range low. There's no guarantee, you know, we could stop at the daily 200, but nonetheless, the lower you get against Ethereum, the better your return and risk reward is converting that Ethereum to PEPE. So one thing to watch out for. This chart is literally just PEPE versus ETH. 1 second, guys. I'm going to grab a sip of water. I'll be right back. Don't ever do this on the public stream. All right, we're back. Sui. Let's do Sui. I don't know if LOCKIN is available on TradingView. I don't think Sui looks good, man. As far as a trend goes, I wouldn't be surprised if Sui came all the way down to the weekly trends for reaccumulation. So, objectively speaking, this did not let anyone in. This didn't give you any structural pullbacks. It basically went from it basically went from disaster to new all-time highs in one push, right? It got a little congested towards the highs, but there was no opportunity for people to buy spot within an uptrend. There was no retests. This thing just went parabolic. Now, whether there's fuckery involved in this one or not, I don't know, and I'm not going to say or speculate on that, but man, like, you know, they pumped this to all-time highs, they made new all-time highs, and now I think there's a lot of people that probably want to buy these lows, and I'm a little bit concerned that this was just, you know, one of those crypto things where they're just going to dump on you for a while. So ignoring all that, objectively, you ran all-time highs, you tried to hold above, you get this perfect retest, which I hate. I hate perfect retests of breakouts. We were unable to hold that breakout. We're trading back below the prior all-time highs, which is basically range high. Get rid of all this and, you know, see it as clean as it is. This is now a lower high. This was a lower low, right? Here's the low. Here's the high. Here's your lower low. Here's your lower high. You're in bearish market structure. You're putting in what appears to be a complacency shoulder. You're trading back below the range. Nothing of this says that I should buy SUI to me. The way that I would buy SUI is get back above here, take out these highs, put in fresh bullish market structure, give me a low, I'll take this, I'll put my invalidation there for a swing basis, and then we can go on our merry way. But this bearish trend that it's in that looks like a complacency shoulder after literally going parabolic and failing to accept outside of prior highs does not look good to me in any sense. This looks topped too. So what this needs to do, all lock-in needs to do, is just range for a while. What you absolutely do not want to see on a coin that marked up like this is reacceptance down here. Right, so like this would be a dead coin, right? I would never buy this again if it traded all the way back to these lows, because that just becomes the Harry Potter, Sonic, Obama dog shit coin where we're never actually going to mark up. It's just going to be a pump and dump vehicle for when we're risk on. You buy the coin, it goes up, make sure you fucking jeet it, because it's never going to actually have a sustainable trend. I'm just saying that for, like, you know, if it occurs. The more bullish case is you form a bottom somewhere up here, right? So here's your accumulation and you've marked up, and now you put another accumulation higher, right? So however this ends up looking, you basically don't want this to bleed back out to 15. I know that sounds brain dead stupid, but like everyone can understand that I don't want my coins to go low. Doc's just saying, hey, I hope the coins don't go low. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in order for something to be repriced bullishly, you need it to establish value higher relative to the last time it did this. So the last time it did this was here. All it needs to do is create an accumulation range higher, right? Once multiple weeks or months have passed, and you've established value in a new region higher, you start actioning this, right? So if I wanted to buy lock-in, I wouldn't be buying up here. I'd be trying my best to buy down here. If this just goes God mode, so be it, right? There's a million other memes that you could buy, right? And other coins and stuff that I vibe with. But when I look at low cap stuff like this, that is a liquid that has 20%, 30% moves a day, I'm not trying to chase this bounce after going parabolic. So parabolic, big correction, this bounce will probably end up doing something like this. I don't know if it's going to stop in this region or trade a little bit lower. The only hope is that you don't want this to come all the way down and fully revert this breakout. That would look terrible. As far as like the Lindy effect and this coin probably marking up a lot higher and repricing, that's just saying no one's willing to buy this coin higher. They only want to buy it at like they only want to buy it down here. No one is willing to chase this coin, which means that despite the narrative that goes around about how cool these coins are, there's no one actually willing to chase and action it higher. There's no whales willing to do it. There's no one willing to absorb supply. There's no one actually chasing and rushing to buy this, which is what you end up seeing with a lot of coins. So what I just said here, the reason I took so long to say this is for educational purposes, because you can apply this to your own coin. So then when I go to your coin, I don't have to repeat myself. I just say, hey, we talked about this with lock-in. It's more of the same. Say to pull a Sui? I don't know. So I saw a tweet the other day that said Say is doing, or the Say Foundation or whatever they're fucking called, is doing a KOL deal for people. So basically they're going to give people a bunch of coins at a discounted price, and then you're going to start seeing everyone in your timeline shilling Say, and that's going to create FOMO, and that's going to drive up price. So I've heard that this is going to happen. No, I'm not part of that, and I was not offered that. But I've heard that this is going to happen. Whether it's true or not, I couldn't tell you. So something to be aware of. If you start seeing people bull posting Say, and you start seeing like multiple people doing it at the same time, the smart thing to do is not mid-curve it and just be like, okay, well, they're going to pump the coin, so I might as well just buy it now versus buying it 3 weeks from now. Have a look at, is that L3? Layer 3? There's a layer 3 now? We're not satisfied with 2 layers. We need a 3rd layer. It's just accumulation, brother. Nothing else to say. It's just an accumulation. Anytime I see charts like this, all I say is try to buy as close to range low as possible. Right? If you're bullish on this coin, it's very easy for you to action. It's like if it comes to the lows, you're just buying it because you're buying it cheaper. You're trying to action at range lows. So that since you're bullish on this, you're looking to play this breakout, right? So the longer it stays in this accumulation, right, the more chances you'll have to buy some kind of event that brings it towards range lows. There's nothing for me to say on this. It's an accumulation. It's trading completely sideways. I would never buy something completely at mid-range like this unless I was like, the market cap is so fucking low, the market is mispricing this is going to $1 billion, I have high conviction, I'm gonna buy it here, and if it goes 50% down, I'll buy it more. Like, if I have that kind of conviction on a coin, I'll do that. But from a market, from like a chart perspective, there's nothing to say, brother. It's an accumulation. It's trading sideways. Thoughts on Brainlet? I don't know, man. It's if there's some kind of chart out there that looks bullish, I'll take a look. Let's take a look at Sol real quick, and we'll come back. Oops. Okay. So, did Bitcoin? Yeah. All right. Decently solid for now. Let's see how the 4 hour is shaping up. Not terrible. I think we're gonna get a little bit of relief today, tomorrow, but let's see. I think this high is gonna get taken out for sure this week, regardless of who wins the presidency. Not a bad low. Who is DMing me? Ah, should have known. Okay, what were we talking about? MicroStrategy, Aave, SPX 69000, MOG, the classics. I'm gonna do MOG first since it's right there on the watch list. All right. Here's your range, right? Breakout from range. Perfect retest. I hate perfect retests. Perfect retest, lower high. Does not look good. Right? Here's your lower high. Here's your second tap of this region. The most bullish thing this can do is continue to go sideways. Right? That would get me interested in continuing to play, or that would get me interested in playing trend continuation higher. If you just drop a little bit lower, like 2% lower or something like that, you've now entered into bearish market structure where you have got lower highs and lower lows. In the event of this, I wouldn't action anything on MOG until like 120s. Right? So whenever things are chopping like this and I'm uncertain, I pretty much do nothing. Right? Because I need a clear-cut way of saying, where am I wrong? Right? Where am I wrong? So let me give you a hypothetical here. If I was to say, if I was to be like, okay, that's a clean level right here. I'm going to long this level. I'm going to long 169 or something like that. Where am I wrong in this scenario? Am I wrong if it takes out this low? Well, if I put my stop here, there's a high probability someone just longs my stop and gets a trade like this, right? So I've just kind of chopped myself up. I took a trade in a position that I thought it was good. I got stopped out because I said if it makes a lower low, I'm wrong. And then it just bounced up and I would have been in profit anyways. Does that seem like a good trade? No, probably not. Right? If I'm trying to long something, which I assume most of you guys are. Most of you guys are bull biased. You're not looking for shorts. You're looking for longs. These are your bags. I would say you have to long into like an uptrend, right? You have to long into like a higher high, higher low situation. Or you have to long much lower, right? This for me is like no man's land, right? It's very, very hard for me to build an invalidation and build like a high EV trade, right? A high expected value trade. I don't like it, even though it's just sitting at support right here. So I would trade this intraday, low time frames, which is what I'm doing on Bitcoin and Solana and stuff like that. Because high time frame, it's too uncertain for me to say it's just going to bounce from here to new highs or it's going to nuke to new lows. So it's very clear that MicroStrategy became the kind of Trump pump play, right? The way that TradFi was betting on the Trump election or the Trump presidency or whatever was either through MicroStrategy or through iBit. It's no doubt probably local topped. It's probably going to trade a lot lower into like the 180s, right? This is, you know, people will be like, they got a good trade on MicroStrategy. They speculated on the Trump win. They're probably taking profits into this. This will probably trade a lot lower. The next place you want to look for a bounce at is probably the confluence of this range high and the daily trend. And we could just mark out demand here. So last down candle before the up move, something like this. Again, kind of like a no man's land region on MicroStrategy right now. Aave versus Camino, what's better? I think, so I have a friend, shout out Pickle, who is very, very, very bullish on Camino. So I'm going to take his strategy, or take his words and say Camino. He's rarely wrong when it comes to fundamental things. So he's bullish on Camino, so the answer to your question is Camino. SPX 6900. Normally I wouldn't look at this coin, but since it's been so strong, why not? All right, this looks like a complacency shoulder too. This was, I think we did this on stream. Literally the last stream I talked about, I was like, you want to action the daily trend, and it literally did that. It bounced off the daily trend, it marked up. This is where you'd want to see trend continuation. This is now looking like it could potentially be that kind of complacency shoulder, lower high situation here, and you're probably going to enter into a phase of reaccumulation, right? Something like this, or maybe even lower. The way that you would change your bias on this, because right now you could just argue, hey, we're still in a daily uptrend, right? This is your low, this is another higher low, right? We're gonna bounce from here off the daily trend. Yeah, so clear cut, you know where you're wrong. If you start accepting and daily candles start closing below this, you're probably going to enter into a little bit of a distribution, and this is going to range for a little bit, reaccumulate before it's ready to mark up again, because this was what, like a 50x in like a month? Like, what did this do? This did something, maybe even more, maybe 100x. So I was willing to say that SPX could get trend. Yeah, oh my God, 100x, right? So 100x in about a month. I I would say like you could get trend continuation on this if this was just going to continue pumping to all-time highs and higher highs. But the fact that it put in this kind of distribution up here and left this lower high makes me think that it's probably going to end up trading a lot lower. And you're going to have to see a prolonged accumulation before it's ready to mark up again, because when coins go from basically worthless to valued at $1 billion, it takes time for coins to swap hands. So people have to take profits. New buyers have to come in and support price. You're going to have to find a balance between buyers and sellers. You'll range for a little bit. Eventually, sellers will be satisfied and no longer want to sell. Buyers will come in. The narrative will respark about Murad coins. This was the leader of the Murad narrative. This might be the leader once again of the Murad narrative next time it comes around. But as I showed you guys on like a poo, that's looking kind of like dusted for a little bit as well. RLB, the reason I'm going to look at this is I once upon a time got a 10x on this, or even more. I got like a 20x on this. I mean, here's the thing. The narrative for RLB was on-chain gambling, right? You can hyper gamble on things. You can 1000x, you know, perp long stuff. I think you can like sports bet, and you can do other things like that. We didn't really have products like this in crypto. And the thesis was crypto is just a gambling, you know, it's just an easy way for people to gamble anyway, so we should be bullish on the gambling chains. Now you have meme coins. You have Solana. You have Solana coins. Why bet on RLB anymore, right? What's the thesis for RLB at this point anymore when you have on-chain? I think in the next bear market, when there's no opportunity, I think maybe RLB will make a comeback. But for now, it's not a coin that I would own, just from that perspective. FLOKI, I think FLOKI is a mid-curve meme coin. I don't think this is gonna do much. You know what's funny is I had a bag of FLOKI from last cycle that I never sold, and my thought process was Doge ripped, Shiba ripped, FLOKI's gonna rip because FLOKI's the name of Elon's dog. Elon's pumping Doge, Shib did crazy stuff. FLOKI's probably next. I'm sure a lot of people thought the same thing. I don't even know where I bought FLOKI. Let's just do imaginary stuff, right? I think I was up like 2x on FLOKI and fully round tripped, and it went down like 99%. And I think it moved chains like from BNB to ETH or something like that. I don't even know what it did. I can't even remember now. But along this pump, I remembered that I had a FLOKI bag. So I did some digging, found the wallet that I bought it on, found that it migrated, found the coins, and then just full stack sold this. So I'm not interested in FLOKI. I don't think this has like, I mean, it's going to go up just because other coins go up, but I don't think there's anything intrinsic to FLOKI that makes it better than anything. If you're going to buy FLOKI, just buy WIF. If you're going to buy SHIB, just buy WIF. If you're going to buy Doge, just buy WIF. I think WIF is the winner of the dog meta from this cycle. So if you're going to bet on any dogs, I think you just bet on WIF and not FLOKI. Let's address the smell in the room. If you're going to make a FARTCOIN joke, there it is. I should have it on here somewhere. Boom. I think FARTCOIN actually looks better than GOAT at this moment. You consolidated under range highs, and you're having a breakout above. If the daily closes above here, you have a very strong invalidation for trend continuation. You just don't want to see this drop back in the range. I think it's a much lower market cap as well. I think it distributed pretty hard. People probably are not up as much on FARTCOIN as they are on GOAT, and it's still a bet on that AI agent meta. So, you know, less people that turbo ran it up, lower market cap, you know, probably easier to pump this one versus GOAT. I think GOAT's probably going to need a little bit more distribution before the next turbo run up, if there is a next turbo run up. So that's why you're seeing FARTCOIN do really well. But yeah, for trend continuation, I think it's very simple. If you're betting on the breakout from here, you just simply don't want to see this reaccept in the range, because if it reaccepts in the range, it may just trade back to range low again. FLOKI is the FWOG of this cycle. You mean FWOG is the FLOKI of this cycle. FWOG is like the third order coin. And I'm assuming you're saying the PEPE, APU, FWOG. Charlie, if I'm not mistaken, if that's your thought process. If that is, I would argue FWOG might be the SHIB because FWOG's market cap is much higher than APU's right now. If that's the thought process. Not saying that FWOG's going to flip PEPE because that would be crazy. No, I literally mean... no, I mean FLOKI is the... I don't know what you mean by that then. Yeah, I don't get that thought process. How is... You're going to have to explain that to me. Maybe I'm not smart enough to understand what you're saying. FLOKI is the FWOG of this cycle, so... FWOG is a good coin and goes up, and FLOKI is the FWOG, meaning FLOKI's gonna do well? I don't get it. That's what you're saying. I don't agree. Kind of sucks that we don't have really much to game plan on Bitcoin this week, because we really just need to see stuff play out. Just beware of the potential, the possibility of this happening. I'm not saying it has to happen, but the possibility of an all-time high run in the event of a Trump win that gets canned and turns into a sell the news event where we have to run some lows and go again off the weekly trend. Just memeing. Gotcha. Have you looked into FWOG yet? Yeah, I did. I mean, it looks solid. There's nothing much to say on this one other than daily trend defend, man. Defend daily trend until the trend ends. I can't really tell you when people are going to want to start taking profits on this one, because people are probably up a really good amount, and eventually you're going to meet supply where people are going to want to take profits on FWOG, and they're going to want to distribute some of their coins. It's very hard to speculate on exactly what number that's going to be. Could be like what I've drawn out right here. Could be literally right here. Could be much higher than here. It's very hard to say, but right now the daily trend is the place to defend. And buyers are showing up every time we're getting a daily trend tag. So that's the bull case on FWOG right now. And I think it's just repricing as it, more and more people are becoming aware of the coin. Weekly is ugly on what coin? On Bitcoin? Yeah. Not a great weekly. You know what this reminds me of? I'm not trying to bear post too hard here, but it reminds me of this. It reminds me of this, where we kind of crabbed down for a very long time. We got a spike up off the back of BlackRock is filing for an ETF. Oh my God, BlackRock's coming to buy our bags. It's such a meta shift. This is such a dynamic shift. This is a paradigm shift. And that led to nothing as people were trying to break out long above 30K, right? 30K, very strong level. People tried to break out long going, oh, there's nothing but air. We're going to get to 48K. And there was no follow through. And we had on-chain season, and centralized exchange coins weren't doing well. And multiple weeks passed until we got a nuke. And the parallel here is we crabbed down for a long time. We spiked up to the highs. A lot of this rally was fueled on Trump odds, Trump winning. Trump's going to buy our bags. Not buy our bags, but Trump's going to pump our bags. Trump is so bullish for crypto. Trump's going to bring favorable regulation and yada, yada, yada. And it's very possible, or it's a scenario that it could play out the same way, as people are looking for, like, oh, this is so bullish, this is so bullish, this is so bullish. And there's no follow through, and you end up doing this And the whole bull market is delayed by another fucking 3 to 6 months, which is the most painful scenario that I can come up with. This is the most painful thing ever, where it would literally be a ghost town. No one would be here. There would be no one here. Did you go over RUNE already? I haven't. Good call, though. RUNE and PENDLE are a couple coins that look solid. Oh no, this thing fully reverted. I'm not paying attention. Jesus Christ, that sucks. It sucks to have so much coil for an expansion that fully retraces. That sucks. Let's look at PENDLE. This kind of sucks too, right? Failed breakout. Probably trades back to these lows. You set equal lows here. I wouldn't be surprised if these equal lows were run. Weekly is ugly if you learn to trade on baby pips. Ever heard of Phil the Wick? Send it. Hey, it's very possible, man. Very, very, very possible. We should set up a multi-sig to put FWOG on the Vegas sphere. I think the issue is that the sphere, I know you're memeing again, but I think the issue is that the Vegas sphere is probably not allowing people to advertise meme coins. So I wonder how long it's going to take for Ansem and them to redistribute the money back to people. It's probably not happening. Isn't that time period you're referring to like midsummer during a year where nothing happened versus now where it's November and election? I mean, I agree with you, brother. Look, I've been bullish since here. I've been bullish since here. I've been buying since here. I've been bull posting and screaming that, you know, bears are retarded for calling for 40K since here. Now we're at the highs, and all I'm doing is presenting a bear case or two. You know, one bear case is Trump wins, people get canned at all-time highs, try to break out long, get mean reverted. There's a, you know, ETH ETF sell the news type of fractal that plays out where we run the highs, we run the lows, we hold a weekly trend, right? Maybe this comes up a little bit. We hold a weekly trend, and then we can start breaking out. The most bearish case ever would be a repeat of like something like this, where we continue trying to break out and we're not getting any spot bid, and the people that were buying spot in the ETFs and the people that were buying spot in crypto native were simply people that were speculating on the Trump win. They got the Trump win, they got their money, and they're not interested in buying an all-time high breakout and trade, right? If they're not interested in doing that and people just keep perp longing and trying to break it out, it's probably not going to work out well. So that's just a scenario, right? And we need to be prepared for all scenarios, right? The easiest thing to say is we've overcome everything. We're just going to go blast off and price discovery, and everyone's going to be rich, and we're all going to buy Lambos and get girlfriends. That's the easiest scenario to say. And, you know, I want that more than you do. Like, I want that really, really badly, because I would like this to go nuts, and I can take a break from crypto for multiple years, right? I can go get married and have kids and not think about crypto for a while and reset my brain. But it would be foolish of me as a trader and a portfolio manager and whatever participant in this market to not at least acknowledge scenarios where everything doesn't work out exactly how we want. But you're right. The dynamics are different, right? You know, ES is at all-time highs. Trump could be good for the economy. Trump is good for crypto. Trump brings favorable regulation of altcoins. Trump brings favorable regulation of DeFi. You know, A lot of bullish things there, right? And we've overcome all the bearishness, and we've ranged for forever, and we've soaked tons of selling. All the bullish points that we've been talking about for 2 months or even longer are in play, right? Everything is in play. But it doesn't mean that it has to work out the way that I want, or the way that you want, or the way that we want, right? It would be negligent to only think in one fashion, right? We can have super strong convictions, but always got to prepare for other scenarios, right? So one scenario is the ETF kind of fractal playing out, where we get kind of like a false breakout, a big reset. We wipe out a ton of open interest. People come by and start buying spot here, and then we get our really good rally, right? Another scenario is nothing of this matters, and we just go straight up, right? We just go straight up, right? Another scenario is we kind of distribute in this region, and we're failing to break out, and we get a big reset, and then, slowly start crabbing upwards. I think the logo for crypto, but that's a business, right? That's a business registered in America, has flow, like has, money and income and registered and pays taxes and whatever, right? It's based on US regulation. A meme coin is not that, right? And then, the Sphere may have policies that prevent stuff like that happening. I don't know, man. I don't know anything. Like, I'm just talking out of my ass here. Ansem's hinted that they're still in talks, and if it fails, money will be returned. Oh, that's good. That's good. Said he's too doxxed to steal. I would hope he wouldn't steal even if he wasn't doxxed. My favorite poly market is Ansem criminal charges in 2024. Well, 2024 is coming to an end. Can we look at MicroStrategy? I just did. Rewind the stream maybe 20 minutes? I just talked about MicroStrategy, man. All right. Enough people have asked for RETARDIO. We'll look at RETARDIO. Yeah, could be. What is this up? This is up about a 7x. So 7x return. Held the daily. Pumped back upwards. All you really want to see, if you're a bull, is for this demand and this daily trend to continue holding, and then you can continue marking up, right? If you start losing the daily trend and you start ranging, right, it's a completely different dynamic. Anytime you're buying these memes, you just want to buy big pukes, right? You want to buy these 30, 40, 50% pukes, unless they're structurally trending along something, right? And continuing to get a bid off of that trend, which then you can action the trend and make your invalidation trend loss, right? The idea here is just simply not to lose a bunch of money, yeah? RETARDIO, it's tough to say, man. It's tough to say. I would need more time with this, but if I'm just saying right now for a trade, this is where you want to buy RETARDIO. This is where you want to buy an action and bet on trend continuation. All right, couple more minutes, free ball, whatever you guys want to ask, feel free to ask. It could be crypto, could be anything. And we'll wrap it up in about 10 minutes. Oh, before you go, for the 100 people watching, I got something special for you guys. So today's stream is actually sponsored by Blofin. They're the new streams channel sponsor. I know you still got 100 of you guys in here, so I got a special deal for you guys. If you want literally free money all you got to do is deposit some cash onto Blofin using the code DOCXBT. It's in the description below, and they will literally give you free cash, right? You don't even need to take a trade. So the things that I try to bring to you guys anytime I do channel sponsors is try to get something for the people that watch the stream, like a little bonus. So for you guys watching today, all you really literally have to do is make an account. It's non-KYC. You don't need to go through the whole like take a picture, upload it, get approved kind of bullshit that other exchanges have. Deposit some cash into the futures account and they will give you a bonus. So it starts today on the 4th. It ends next week on Monday. So I will push this out to you guys again next week on Monday's stream, which will be the last time that you're able to do this. So you deposit some cash, they will give you cash in your account, right? So it will be, if you read the fine print right below, it's only 200 users. So there's only 100 of you in here. So you guys definitely can get into that. And then rewards will be sent to you guys 2 days after it ends. So November 13th is when you'll get the cash in your account. Really simple, really easy way to just make a couple bucks by joining doc streams every week. I don't even advertise these things on CT. I just try to keep it special for the stream watchers. I've done these in the past with you guys. I think we did it with Woo twice. So like, people have probably made a couple $100 just from watching the stream outside of trades, just like free money. So here's more literal free money courtesy of Blofin. Feel free to check them out. I think a bunch of you guys already trade on Blofin, but if you guys already trade on Blofin, all you got to do is email them and be like, I'm swapping to Doc's ref link, which is again in the bio. It's just DocXBT. It's my name. It's my Twitter name. It's my Twitter handle. It's my YouTube handle. So nothing confusing there. Very easy for you guys to do it. Go get your fucking free money. Could a Kamala win actually be bullish for Bitcoin and ETH as money flees alts into the only two safe options? I've heard this thesis floated around. I've heard the thesis floated around that Kamala is bullish for ETH because Kamala is bearish on alts, and the only two vehicles to speculate on crypto in a regulated manner in the United States is the Bitcoin ETF and the ETH ETF. So ETH is now marked safe from all altcoin regulation, and that could be a very bullish catalyst for ETH. Now, in the event that that happens, I think it's still bullish for alts, and let me tell you why. I'm glad you kind of brought this up. Bitcoin dominance is weighted most heavily by Ethereum, right? Ethereum is the second largest market cap in crypto, meaning anything that's bullish for Ethereum is bearish Bitcoin dominance. And if Bitcoin dominance breaks down, you get an alt season. So I don't think there's a scenario, right, where like I said numerous times, crypto's going to mark up, right? Crypto's going to mark up regardless, right? If Trump wins, right, it may be short term. If Kamala wins, it may be longer term. But either way, we're going to go up, right? In the scenario that Trump wins, maybe we get, you know, this classic, like Bitcoin dominance keeps going higher and we get a blow off top and then we get a little bit of ranging and then we get an alt season, right? Let's say that's the Trump winning scenario. The Kamala winning scenario is maybe it's more bullish for ETH. Maybe people leave Solana and go to ETH. But even in that scenario, what that's going to do is put pressure on Bitcoin dominance. And Bitcoin dominance going down because ETH going up creates the scenario where money is going to flow into altcoins. People will speculate more on altcoins. All roads, in my opinion, lead to higher, right? I'm making a bullish case even in the Kamala win. Because this is just math, right? It's just math. If ETH goes up, Bitcoin dominance goes down. If Bitcoin dominance goes down, we've all seen what happens to the market when Bitcoin dominance loses its trends. This trend has been active on Bitcoin dominance since FTX lows. We've been in a 2-year uptrend on Bitcoin dominance. If you guys don't think the dynamics of this market are going to change drastically when Bitcoin dominance breaks down, I got news for you, right? When this trend is lost, the dynamics will shift. The dynamics will shift to probably first going to be a little bit rangy, right? And then it'll just be nukey, right? We'll create a top, we'll distribute, altcoins will probably go absolutely bananas for some time, and that'll be, you know, in the most ironic fashion due to ETH. What games are you currently playing? I just downloaded Black Ops 6 over the weekend because my buddies kept pushing me to play Black Ops. And the funniest thing about Black Ops is it's the same game I played 15 years ago. Like, yeah, it's smoother. You know, the frames are better. The FOV is better. But it's just COD, man. There's nothing special about it. It's still just COD. I haven't fucked around with zombies yet, but yeah, that's the game that I picked up recently. I've been thinking about getting Elden Ring if I have time. If the market heats up, there's absolutely no time to play Elden Ring, but I'm happy that I got to play Wusong this summer with some off time. Not Wusong, Wukong. Wusong is the name of my editor. Wukong was a sick game and really made me want to go, man, I should check out Elden Ring. Fed buy orders at 80 cents, free money. Oh, right here? Yeah. I think so. I think if FET comes back to 80 cents, yeah, that's a no-brainer buy. Because you have such strong accumulation in this region with a very strong invalidation if this bleeds below. You have to action this. You talk about Boo yet? FWOG beta? I don't know, dude. I'm probably not going to be interested in playing FWOG beta because FWOG is so sick itself. No need to play the beta. Is it cash or just a free bet printout like what you see at the casinos? Free bet printout like you see at the casinos. I don't know. Oh, I think you're asking, is it withdrawable? I think it's locked to your account. I think that's money that you can use in your account. Do you play console, dude? I'm old now. I'm a console pleb. Magus has been pushing me to get, or he not pushing me, but he mentioned it over the weekend. He's like, just get a fucking PC. So I'll probably get a PC once I move, which has been the biggest pain in my ass is trying to move to Florida for the last 6 months. Fingers crossed we're close. All right, we're going to wrap it up there, guys. I know I see a couple more questions coming in, but getting kind of tired. Been streaming for 2 hours, talking about coins for 2 hours, but I think there's plenty of valuable kind of education in here. And what I try to do on the streams is take an example from coin X, right? So I'll go through a very strong example on coin X, and I know there's going to be 50 more coins that look like X, and I want you to try to apply what I taught on X so that you can apply it to Y, rather than going through 85 charts saying the exact same thing. I try to go into detail about one and then get you guys to try to think about your coins in the same fashion. You'll learn more this way versus me kind of saying the same thing on every single coin. So I hope you guys learned something this stream. If you guys haven't, hit the like on your way out, and definitely check out Blofin because, again, free money. They are the stream sponsor, and I have a good friend working with them. So I have a lot of friends trading on Blofin as well. So if you guys think they're like in a sketchy exchange or something like that, I have a lot of close friends that trade on there and have said nothing but good things. So feel free to check them out. And yeah, I'll see you guys on next stream. Good luck. Have fun out there. And make sure that you don't get liquidated this week, because whether it takes 1 week or 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, the market is going higher. It's just a matter of how we get there. So everyone take care. I'll see you guys next week. Later.